So today we are going to start chapter 2, the executive. Now you already know that there are three main organs of the government which helps the government to work smoothly. What are they? They are the legislature, executive and the judiciary. In the last chapter we already learned about the legislature. Now let me again make you revise that. So the legislature, they consist of the parliament who makes the laws. That is, it consists of the two houses, that is the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Now the executives, what is the work of the executive? The executive executes the laws that is made by the parliament. The president and the prime minister, they enforces the laws made by the legislature. And now in the next chapter we will be learning about the judiciary. So today we are going to continue with the executive. Now, as I have told you, the legislature makes laws and executive implements these laws. Now, who are these legislature? These are the houses of the parliament, and executive. The executives are the president, the prime minister, who helps the country to enforce. They enforces the laws that is made by the legislature. Now the union executive, it consists of president, vice president and council of ministers, and they all are headed by the prime minister. So the prime minister is their whole sole leader. Now the president is the nominal head of the union government. Now let us discuss about the president. Now, how is the president of India elected? What is the procedure? The president is the president is indirectly elected by the people. Now, what is this indirect elections? See, direct elections are what? Like we vote and we choose our representative. That is, we choose, like when the elections of the prime ministers are conducted, we choose them directly. But here the president is not chosen by us directly, it is chosen indirectly. How? The people elect their representatives first to the parliament and the state assemblies. Then these elected members of the parliament and the state assemblies form the electoral college. Now this electoral college is what? These are the group of people that elects the president. So how is the president elected? You have to read this. Now coming to the qualification that is required for to be a president. He should be the citizen of India. He must have completed 35 years of age. He must be qualified for the election as the member of Lok Sabha. He should not hold any office of profit under the union and local government, and his nomination paper must be supported by at least how many? 50 members belonging to the electoral college. So this 50 members, they should nominate him, then only he can be the president. Now you must be thinking, what is the electoral college? So this is a body of the elected representatives of the people, including elected members of the parliament. That is, members of the parliament means the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, and state legislative assemblies to jointly elect the president of India. So that is the electoral college. Now coming to the term, for how many years the president is elected and how can be he removed. Now the term of office of the president is 5 years and he can be removed before the expiry. See, 5 year is the term, but before that also he can be removed. How? He can be removed before the expiry of his term by the parliament through the process of impeachment on charges of only on the charges of the violation of the constitution. If he has not performed his duty well, he can be removed from his post through impeachment before the expiry of his term. Now, such impeachment must be passed by not less than two-thirds of the total membership of each house of the parliament. So, if two-thirds of the members will support his removal, then only he can be removed. Now, what are the powers of the president? See, he has different powers. The powers such as executive, legislature, financial, judicial, and emergency. So we will be discussing one by one. Now coming to the first power, that is his executive power. He appoints the Prime Minister and other ministers, Chief Justice and other judges of the Supreme Court and High Court, then Attorney General, State Governor, Chairman and the members of the Union Public Service Commission, ambassadors, then members of finance commissions and planning commissions. So they all are appointed by whom? They all are appointed by the president. Now, he is the supreme commander of all the defense in forces in India. He appoints the chiefs of the army, navy as well as the air force. So they all are appointed by the president. He has the power and he only can declare war and peace subject to the endorsement of the parliament. So these are the executive powers of the powers of the president. Now coming to his legislative powers, he summons the sessions of both the houses of the parliament. He can nominate 2 members of the Anglo-Indian community as the member of Lok Sabha and 12 members of the Rajya Sabha. So he can also nominate 2 members of Anglo-Indian community as the member of Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. He can dissolve the Lok Sabha before the expiry of his term and order fresh elections. Now, he can dissolve the Lok Sabha before the expiry of its term and order fresh election. Then the president's assent, that is his signature, is essential on the bills passed by the 2 houses of the parliament. He can also issue ordinance if there is a need for a law and the parliament is not in the sessions. So these are the legislative powers of the president. Now, what is the meaning of the word ordinance? Ordinance, this is a temporary law that is issued by the president when? At the time when the session of the parliament is not taking place. So, when there is an emergency situation, the session of the parliament is not taking place, then this ordinance is issued by the president. I hope the legislative power is clear to you. So, let us proceed with the financial powers. The president's consent is essential for the introduction of money bill in the parliament. He also asks the finance ministers to lay down the annual national budget in the Lok Sabha before the beginning of new financial year. And the contingency fund has been placed under his disposal. So all these are the financial power. So you can see the president holds a very powerful position in the country. Now he has a very powerful, his powers are very much judicially also he is a very powerful person. How? The president can grant pardon to remit, reduce or suspend the sentence of person convicted of an offense. So the president can convert the death sentence into life imprisonment or even pardon the offender altogether. So this is a very powerful function of, that is the judicial function of the president. He can convert the death sentence into imprisonment and also he can grant pardon. He can also reduce or suspend the person who has committed a crime. So these are the judicial function. Now, in emergency, what are the functions of the president? So, in emergency, the national emergency arises out of war, external aggressions, or armed rebellion. Emergency due to failure of constitutional machineries, and financial emergency. So, all these emergency cases, the president has the powers. So that's all we have in this particular session. In the next session, we will be continuing with the vice presidents and the council of ministers and the prime ministers. So before you switch to the next video, I would like you to go through, read the chapter till where we have discussed.